Hey guys, this is Rick. You're watching Rick Chat RC, and welcome to another video. This is Frustration Friday, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. I'm going to talk about the Snapper 7, and with the amount of luck I've been having with this little tiny whoop, I'm telling you now, this should be called Snapper number 47 for me, because I've been through that many issues with it. It's not really Snapper 47. Maybe it's Snapper number 8, Snapper number 9. You know, this thing costs 120 bucks, $123. You get one battery. Maybe you can get 3 if you get the standard version. And it's got this big fat rating about how good it is. And I'm telling you now, when I take a look at this thing, it is... You know, it's this plastic. It's got some aluminium alloy prop rings. It's an all-in-one board. The carbon involved with this is so small. Everything's so micro. This should cost about $50, $40, not $123. And I don't know about you, but when I crash this thing, because I do crash it, the camera keeps coming loose. And I've taken this apart. I'm about to show you. The camera does not go back in place. I don't know how it was held there in the first place, but I'm going to have to insert a piece of foam in between the back of the camera and the back of the plastic little canopy to keep the camera in place. The other thing I want to say is, I don't know if this is a silent minority or this is a silent majority, but you know, I can fly almost anything line of sight. Helicopters, planes, even quads, even drones. No problem. Line of sight is fantastic. I like to see what the aircraft is doing. As soon as I put on a pair of goggles, you may as well put a blindfold on me, because I can't tell what it's doing. I can't tell how it's flying. My perspective goes out the window. It's like I'm flying blind. Now, I know these things are really, really popular today, but I'd like to find out from you guys, how popular are they exactly amongst our fellow hobbyists? There must be others out there like me who are struggling to make the transition from line of sight to FPV. It doesn't matter what goggles you put on. As soon as I put a set of goggles on my face to try and do FPV, I'm flying blind. I don't know where the quad is relative to myself. I don't know where the quad is relative to any other object in the vicinity of where I'm flying, and I take mine down to a park. And I'd like to know from you guys, am I the only one in this boat? Am I the only one suffering from this? Or are there many others like you out there who are having a big issue and a challenge transitioning from line of sight to FPV? You know, we all talk about, don't buy this quad, don't buy that quad, this quad is junk, don't get an F3 board, don't get an F2 board. There's so much more value if you buy this one instead of that one. This has more value, it's got the latest board. At the end of the day, if you can't fly, what is the point of value? What is the point of an F4 board if you crash every 30 seconds? If you spend the next week or two or more, depending on how long it takes parts to arrive, depending on how long it takes you to source the problem and fix it, what is the point in spending more time in the shed, more time in the garage, more time in your bedroom trying to fix this thing instead of being out in the field flying where you get the greatest pleasure? So is it just me? Are there others like you? Are there others like me who are suffering from this predicament? You know, give me a heli, give me an aeroplane, give me a drone, and I can fly it. As soon as you put a set of goggles on me, I don't know, man. I just lose all perspective. Nothing to do with the sim, nothing to do with anything. I don't know where I am in the park. I don't know if I'm about to hit the pole, if I'm about to hit the power lines, if I'm too close to a dog that's running across the field, if I'm too close to a person who's walking, down the path. I'm telling you now, FPV is dangerous. Now, I need a wingman. I need someone who stands by my side with their hand on my shoulder, perhaps, telling me, Rick, the model is about 30 meters away to your left. Start turning right slowly. Increase power, you're getting too low. It's coming back your way now. You should see it in your goggles if you keep turning the way you are. Now, I need a wingman. I don't know how many other people out there like me feel this way, but I'm telling you now, I have not been successful in flying FPV. I can fly the same quad by line of sight, no problem, and I love watching it when it's line of sight. But I can't make the transition. I've done some videos in the past where I've talked about line of sight flying. All you have to do is look back. You can see what I'm talking about. I'm not running the F4 boards. I'm not running the F4 flight controllers. I'm still using Libre Pilot or Open Pilot. I know that gets rubbished by the purists out there, but I'm telling you now, I'd like to know from you guys, how many people are there like yourselves who are having this issue, who are struggling like me? Because I have a feeling I represent the silent minority. I have a feeling I represent either the silent minority or the silent majority. Or there's a hell of a lot of people out there like myself who are enthralled by this hobby, who are trying to get into it, and all they do is spend more time in the workshop, crashing, fixing a crash, fixing an electronic issue, fixing a wire that got yanked out after a crash. I'm telling you, I spend more time on the ground trying to fly FPV than I do in the air. I don't know what the secret is. I don't know how to get around it. I think a wingman is what I need, and I'm just going to have to try and find someone that I can fly with who can guide me, because I can fly, not an issue. Put a set of goggles on me and you may as well put a blindfold on me, and I'm dangerous, right? This Snapper 7, I took it down at the park. I wanted an open area, a calm day where I wouldn't hit anybody, anything. Okay, so I put the goggles on, I start flying, I take off, and already I'm lost with where I'm going. I see some power lines coming up. I'm nowhere near them. I can just see them. So I lose all perspective. I think I'm about to crash into them, right? So I power down in panic. And next thing I know, the quad is falling out of the sky. I don't know where I am orientation-wise anymore. F1 board, F2 board, F3 board. Don't waste your money on this. There's so much more value. That has nothing to do with quad flying when you're learning. If you can't fly, don't get the latest. You will spend more time in the shed, in the garage, in the workshop, whatever you want to call it. And if you're like me at the moment, I'm starting to hate FPV. I just can't transition across from line of sight to FPV. The immersiveness has nothing to do with it. I lose all positioning. I lose all relativity of where I am, where the quad's flying, how high is it, am I going to lose it, am I going to hit something? Is it just me? Tell me. I want to know how many people like you, I want to know how many people like myself are going through this, right? But we're too ashamed to say it. We're too embarrassed because we see on YouTube so many other people getting into it. I'm not interested in how fast a quad can fly. I'm not interested if I can buy a quad for $150 that does 200 miles per hour. As far as I'm concerned, in the hands of a learner, In the hands of someone who's starting out, that is an absolute lethal weapon, ready to kill, injure, maim, or destroy someone's property or infrastructure, right? You can't have a quad flying around at that speed if you don't know where it's flying, if you have no perspective of where it is in the air. And for me, when I put those goggles on, I'm blind. Nothing to do with my eyesight. I need help. And I'd like you guys out there to give me some help. Give me some advice. Let me know, what the heck am I doing wrong? Is the wingman the answer? Because I don't have a wingman right now. I've done everything solo and it's not working for me. I've crashed my Wizard. I've crashed my Snapper 7. The Snapper 7 is so lightweight and I've still crashed it, right? The camera's come off. I'm about to show you how cheap this model actually is. Okay, these things are only good if you keep them flying. The minute something goes wrong with them, they're so micro, they're just a waste of time and money, right? I've analysed this quad, I've looked at it from top to bottom, and I'm telling you now, it would take $10 to make this, not even. And I'm exaggerating, it probably doesn't even take $10 to make this. And they sell it for $120 plus. Okay, the board is an F3 board. The camera, you can see through it, but it's no late model, right? My Visuo is better than this for the money I paid. $60 for that, $123 for this, just because it's got brushless motors. So what? If you can't fly this thing, brushless motors, brush motors, what's the difference, right? I crashed this while I've got it in stable mode, and it's still no good for me. So now I'm about to show you how cheap this quad actually is. Stand by. Okay, so here is the Snapper 7. Okay, this is it. Right, it's nothing new. You've seen other reviews about this. Right, it's not a brand new anything. I'm not the first to do one on this. But I'm telling you now, these prop rings around here, excellent. Okay, they do stop you from crashing into whatever, a wall, into a house or a tree or whatever it is. If you fall on the ground, if you fall onto the grass, no problem at all. It's fantastic. I like that. The carbon underneath. Okay. I mean, there's hardly any carbon. You spend $120 plus on something like this, okay, versus $140, $150 for a full carbon quad. This is a rip-off as far as I'm concerned, an absolute rip-off. There's no outstanding anything here. Brushless motors, great. Okay, so you've got brushless motors. Does that justify $120 plus for this, does it? I mean, that's the cheaper end of the scale. I've seen these going for $150, $160, $180. Now, what do you want to get? Something like this for that price? Or do you want to get a proper carbon quad? Well, you know what? If you can't fly, don't waste your money on the other stuff. You may as well get something small. I'm not even saying get a tiny Whoop. This is almost a complete waste of money, a waste of energy. Like I said, it's only fun if you know how to fly it. It's only fun if everything falls into place while you're flying it. Now look at this. Look what happened here. The camera becomes dislodged. See that? Has anyone else experienced something like this? Or is it just me? Okay? Put it back, I hear you say. Just put it back into place. Really? Put it back into place. You think I haven't tried? Watch this. I'm about to try and put it back into place. Okay, looks good there. I'm just pressing it against here to see if I can get... I normally hear a little bit of a click sound. I don't hear it. Here we go. You didn't hear it, but I did. So, no, it's not in place. See? It's still loose. You know, I don't even know how this was held in place to start with, because it won't go back. Right? So I was thinking, do I hot glue the rim, the edge, so it stays in place? Okay, now it's in place. Now as soon as I try and put this back together, watch what happens. Because it's not in place. It's just, you think it is. See? The camera just dislodged again. Look, I didn't do anything. I was just trying to put the canopy back. There it is again, dislodged. Does anyone know how to fix this? Am I supposed to put some hot melt glue around this area? Am I supposed to put the camera back in the position the best way that I can, and then put some hot glue around this area here? Well, I've decided I don't think I'm going to put some hot glue. I think I'm going to put a piece of foam, soft foam, between the back here, right, the back over here, probably about an inch, inch and a half long, so that it rests on the back here, and that's what's going to keep my camera in place. Now, the fact that this doesn't go back the way it was made, to me, as far as I'm concerned, shows me that it's just a cheap piece of rubbish. I'm sorry, might be a lot of fun to fly when nothing goes wrong, but it's a cheap piece of rubbish. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 18 months, 2 years or less, this thing will be selling for $50, maybe even $40, right? There's nothing to it. They're making a killing with this at the moment. If you buy it for its current price, an absolute killing. It's a piece of rubbish, right? A piece of rubbish can be a lot of fun, but I'm telling you now, when this happens, a piece of rubbish shows its true colors. It's not a lot of fun. Okay, I'm in the workshop again. I'm in my shed. I'm trying to fix this so that I can fly it, right? I bought the standard one. I've got my 3 batteries, 2 here, another one in the box here, right? Another one in the box there. And I've actually bought another 3 batteries, because 3 minutes for me is an absolute joke when you're having fun with this. And I've been having fun with it, flying it line of sight. The minute I put the goggles on, it's an absolute joke. So please, if there's anyone else out there that is experiencing the same issue, drop me a line. Let me know. Put some comments down below. Okay, I have to secure this camera with a piece of foam. Alright, I'm Rick. This is Rick Chat RC, and this is the very first episode of what I'm calling Frustration Friday. Now, like I said earlier in my opening, I don't believe I'm the only one going through this. Okay? Who else is experiencing this? Because I don't see many reviews, I don't see many YouTube videos about things like this, right? All the other stuff is always about how good something is. Well, this is good when nothing happens to it. Okay? I have to admit, the frame hasn't broken apart, the board's still working, it's still binding, I can still switch it on, the propellers still spin, but at the moment, this camera will not stay in place, and it will not reposition itself and click into place. I don't know if it was glued to begin with, but this part of the whole quad, as far as I'm concerned, is plastic crap. Okay, $123 worth of plastic crap. So I'm going to show you the piece of foam I intend on using, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so I've got myself a piece of foam. This is what I'm using. Okay, I'm sure everyone has got a piece of this lying around, or they can get a hold of something like this. Now all I've done is I've cut a strip like that, and this is what I end up with a piece like that. Okay, now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reposition the camera back in its place like so, and then I'm going to position this piece of foam in there like so. Now that's all I can think of, which is quick, simple and easy to keep this camera piece in place. Okay, it's not going to go anywhere now. Oh, it's still moved a little bit. Maybe I just have to make it slightly longer so there's a bit more pressure against the backing, but I'm sure you get my drift. So now I should be able to position this back here like so, put it down over the holes, find the holes, where are we? Here we go. Okay, that's there on that side. Okay, that's worked. Okay, so that's worked. I've got it back in place. The foam is there. You'd hardly see it. I think it's a pretty good fix. What else? The camera's not moving. It's not going to get moved. It's not going to jolt next time I hit the ground, or next time it just hits the floor or the grass or whatever. So I think that's a pretty good fix. And yeah, that's my take on the Snapper 7. Might be a good quad. I bought it so that I could keep practicing my FPV without anything too powerful, but I realized the power has nothing to do with it. It's my perspective, how I see things through the goggles, that is giving me the issue. So I know I need a wingman. So guys, once again, this has been Frustration Friday. Please drop me a line, put some comments below, tell me what you think. Tell me if anyone else has experienced this, and tell me what fix you're using. I don't know if there's anything better I should be doing. This is how I'm going to keep my camera in place. As usual, hit the like button if you like what you see. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm hoping to have a few more Frustration Friday segments. And yeah, thanks again for watching. Appreciate sharing this with you, and I'll talk to you again soon next time. Bye for now.